Hey guys, morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 28th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we will get started shortly. A couple things here to update, and we should be good to go. It's good. Get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. That's good. Okay, solid. So I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in, and then we will get started shortly. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 28th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. So might get a few more moments for people to make their way in, and then we will get started shortly with our analysis. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Van Hartwig. Morning, Martha. Morning, Slava. Morning, David. Morning, Peter. Morning, Shannon. Morning, Shaka. Morning, Karen. Morning, Maria. Morning, everybody. Sorry for the late start, guys. I mean, YouTube's been having these issues lately where I don't know what the real problem is, but they keep having these issues with the setup for the live stream. So we're here now, so it's all good. Morning, Gary. Morning, T. Morning, Zach. Morning, everybody. So looking over here on the shorter time frames, guys, everything here is pretty much, I mean, for the most part, bearish. So looking over here on the 1 minute, price is bearish, and the 5 minute as well, because price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. The 10 minute over here is currently neutral because it's barely shifting to the downside, but it is turning bearish. So looking on the shorter time frames here, looks like we might be looking for a sell. Also looking over here on the higher time frames, price is starting to come back down as well. So here on the 10 minute, price is below the pivots, 30 minute price is below the pivots, and lastly here on the 1 hour, price is below the pivots. Price isn't very strong yet because it's barely crossing here on the 30 and the 1, but it is crossing. So it's basically bearish neutral right now on pretty much all time frames. So it looks like we might be looking for sells today, but the market is going to open in about 2 minutes. So we'll see what happens then. And then we'll see if we continue looking for a sell here, because, you know, there's no guarantee it's going to continue staying down there, you know, in the next couple of minutes or so. So we'll see over here. News for this morning. There was pre-market news over here at 5:30, pre-market news at 6 o'clock. So 5:30 and 6 o'clock. Let me go ahead and mark up the news real quick. 5:30 is right there. And 6 o'clock is right there. Let's see if there's any other news coming up today. We got news over here as well at 7 o'clock. Okay, 6:45 and 7 o'clock. So let me go and mark that up over here real quick. I'm going to maximize this. News over here at 6:45 and 7 o'clock. So we got one right there, 6:45. And then we have one more over here at 7 o'clock. All right, guys, market is now open. You guys can see this big drop right here down below. I'm going to go ahead and mark up opening price on this candle. So we'll see how price reacts to this movement right here. Huge drop right here. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend chasing it, but we'll see what if you know, price corrects back up to opening price, or if it continues dropping. It doesn't really matter to us. We just got to wait and see what happens here. All right, news over here at 6:45, 7, and 7:30. There's actually news at 7:30 as well. So there's a lot of news this morning, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Be a good thing because it can cause price to continue pushing. Hey, Brock, how's it going? Morning, Kevin. Morning, Vince. Morning, Jamie. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, looks like everybody's here so far. Price is coming back down even further. Looks like price may be swinging up, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes or so. I have everything marked up right here on the chart. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the clean chart as well, just so that you guys can have an idea as to like where price is moving. So I had to go over here real quick. Refresh that. All right, so this is opening price right here. I'll just put it right before. So opening price right there. All right, so we'll keep an eye on this, guys, and we'll see what happens here. Obviously, as you guys can see, price is dumping pretty heavy. It's going in the direction of our trade. Karen said breakout 2.0 hit yesterday, and it looks like it's about to hit today also. I know we don't use it, but I've been following. Nice work, Karen. Yeah, no, definitely. So Karen just mentioned the breakout 2.0, guys. I haven't technically been using it because the market hasn't really been moving directional. It's been pretty choppy, but everything here is bearish. We've analyzed this as bearish today. So if you guys took the breakout 2.0, it was actually right here on open. And it looks like it's pushing straight to prop target. So if you guys are in it, great. If you guys aren't, it's okay. I don't typically take it anymore because there's no directional market for the most part. The worst part about this is that price can swing all the way up in the next couple of minutes. It's not like a smooth move how it typically is. That's why I don't usually apply it. But yeah, thanks for following it, Karen, so that we have an idea if it's been working or not lately. Here we are back at the clean chart. Or not really clean chart, but the current chart. So, all right, price is pushing down pretty heavy. Obviously, we're looking for a sell here. The thing that you want to look out for is whether price stays below or if it swings right back up. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to put up the strategies that we're applying. The momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, and of course, the momentum scalp. So basically, the first thing that we're looking for here, guys, is we're looking for price to retrace up, right? In order for us to have an entry for the momentum scalp failure, we need price to provide a retracement momentum signal. First requirement for all the strategies is to confirm the overall trend. Looking over here on the 10-minute, 5-minute, and 1-minute time frames, you can see here that price is obviously bearish, right? Reason for it being bearish is because price is below the pivots. Pivots are angling down, and the trend meter down below is red. So with that said, we're obviously looking for sells today. Looking over here on the other thing, so let's check out the other confluences as well. So let's start with CNBC. CNBC over here is pretty much indicating that everything is pretty much red, right? The Dow is currently down 100 points, S&P is down 8.7 points, Nasdaq's down 15 points, Russell 2K is up 5 points, VIX is currently up less than a percentage point. So looking at this here, let's see what the breaking news is. It says stocks fall slightly to start the final trading day of February. So, yeah, price might just swing back up at some point. Right here, there's news that was just released right now about a couple minutes ago. So with this big dump right here, I'd be careful about chasing this for a sell because price might swing all the way back up right now, or at least up to retest the pivots. So there's a couple different areas right here where price can come up to retest. Either price will come up to retest the pivots right here, or price will come up to retest the opening price. There's a lot of areas here where price can retrace up to. So just be careful chasing these sells here. I wouldn't recommend chasing it because it's due for retracement, right? If you guys go here and measure where price is currently at, price started dropping from this point right here. So if you measure price from there, this high point, price has dropped over 2,000 pips or 200 points, whatever you want to consider it. and it has not retraced up yet. So it's due for retracement. And that's why I wouldn't chase it for a sell right now. You can see price over here start to swing around. All right, so price is rejecting directly off the sessions right here. So as I've mentioned before, guys, these sessions are red flags because these are areas of manipulation. One of two things can happen here. Price will either swing back up. It'll either fake out below here and swing right back up, or it can reject off the sessions and come back down. My guess is that this is going to be a fake out and it's going to come back up at least a little bit. We have news event over here at 6:45. This news event can be the, deciding factor whether price swings back up or if it continues dropping, because there's going to be a catalyst there pushing price in one direction or the other. But this area right here is an area of high manipulation. So I wouldn't trade around this area at all. Yeah, Maddie said he thinks it'll test the sessions above. Yeah, I can see that. So I think this might be a fake out and it'll come back up and retest the next sessions up here. So we'll see. And we got news coming up right here at 6:45. So I don't recommend entering anything right now, guys. I mean, it's up to you guys if you guys have an idea or you have a strategy that you're applying that you think price might go in one direction or the other. But I think it's very risky to enter anything right now. This is a breakout 2.0. This might actually hit TP first before it swings out. So we got news coming up in less than 10 minutes. We'll see if this ends up swinging up or if it ends up staying down below. Yeah, so I'm expecting this thing to come back up. I don't know how far, but at least the sessions right there. Kenny, how's it going? Morning. All right, so market volatility pretty much died down here. There's not really too much going on at all. But as you guys can see, price is kind of bouncing up from this area. It's an area of high manipulation, so I typically don't trade around this area. One of two things will happen. Price will either retrace up, retest the higher sessions, or it's going to continue dropping. But until then, I think price will just start consolidating around this area. This is why we don't trade around the sessions. Because you guys can see over here prior, when price was at the sessions around here, price came down, faked out right here, came back up, retested sessions, and pretty much just went sideways for a while until it dumped right back down, right? So there's really no telling as to where price is going to go. We're just gonna have to wait and see. We're about 7 minutes away from news, so we still got a lot of time till news. Let's see over here real quick. So Zach over here made some pre-market sells. Nice work, Zach. Said one more pre-market trade on my own analysis, which seems to be on point lately. So nice work over here from Zach. He made about 1,500 for the day across all of his trades. 3 pre-market trades right here, all wins. Great work, Zach. We've got, and I think that's it. If you guys have any profits, feel free to post them up. Otherwise, we'll just sit tight and wait to see where price ends up going from here. So, I mean, price is in an entire red flag area, so it's not a good area to trade regardless. We also have news coming up over here in about 5 minutes, so it's getting really close to news price. I think this breakout 2.0 will probably hit, though. It's probably the first thing that will happen eventually. I think the news event earlier might spike down and hit it. I took one trade last night, guys. So I haven't been trading Forex too much lately, but I did trade this right here for odd USD. There was a momentum, basically an intraday trade here, like the momentum scalp that I've been applying on higher time frames. So I go on the 8-hour, 4-hour, 1 hour, saw the sell signal right there. This was a late entry because I missed it when the candle closed. But when I entered this trade, I entered on this next candle because I saw the wick rejection off this point. There's also rejections on other time frames. So I entered for a late entry right here, went for like 25 pips, and then I locked in about like a $600 profit off this trade. So not too bad. I haven't traded Forex in a while, but the strategy still worked fine. So this is another trade that I took. I just feel confident because of the trades I took last week. They all hit. I made like well over 2,000 off just 2 trades. This was one I was thinking about taking, but it didn't meet my criteria because of there was a green candle right here. So the momentum scalp didn't line up with it being all sells. Yeah. So if I see anything good, I'll mark it up. Like I was going to take this one too, but I just ended up taking odd USD. Yeah, nothing right now. All right, so back to US30. There's still nothing going on here, guys. Market is going to have its news event in about 5 minutes. Price, as you guys can see, is just consolidating around the sessions. Not a good area to trade in. High area of manipulation. So realistically, price can spike in either direction. Hey, Patricia, morning. But yeah, let me go and take a screenshot of my Forex trade. Pretty much is. That's the one thing I like about Forex is that it's such a slow moving asset that you can pretty much set and forget it. The only thing I don't like is that same reason, having to wait for the trade to hit, because it can easily turn opposite on you at any moment. So like looking over here at that odd USD trade that I was in, if I didn't have my TP set right there, I could have easily been caught in some drawdown here. Price swung back up. So that's the main downside of Forex. It's so slow. You can't really scalp it like you do for US30. All right, so price is pushing back up right here. Let's see if price comes up and retests the sessions or if it stays below. I think price will just go sideways until 6:45, guys. We have the news event right here at 6:45. Let me check the news event again for that. News event's going to be Chicago PMI, so this is going to be pretty decent high impact. I know it's yellow, but it's inflation news, so I'm expecting it to push price, one direction or the other. I don't know why is it yellow, because it's orange over here on my FX, but it should be at least orange. But we'll see. Some more inflation news there. We'll see if it continues to drop or if it swings price back up. My guess is that it's going to continue to drop, but I mean, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. All right, so there's nothing going on right here. Yeah, Maddie said range with the sessions right in the middle. Yeah, price just keeps going back and forth between those areas. So if you guys have any questions, guys, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we're just gonna sit tight and wait for something here to play out. All right, market is like, well, price is like literally not moving now. News is coming up in 2 minutes. I think once we have news, that'll be a catalyst to push price one direction or the other. And we have another news event at 7 o'clock. So we got a lot of time, or we got a lot of news events in between each interval. So we'll see what happens over here. Market's not really doing too much. Just got to wait for that news event to happen here in the next minute. All right, price is now back below the sessions. We got news coming up in 30 seconds. We'll see if price continues dropping. I think price will continue dropping because we have to hit our TP over here on the breakout 2.0. So if you guys are in this breakout 2.0, probably expect price to come down and blast right through it. But I mean, we'll see what happens right now. News events coming up in about 15 seconds. Yeah, Ben Hartwig said last day of the month. So a lot of the contracts are starting to reset. Like you guys can see over here, typically on this, there's an issue where price can't extend out because the March contracts need to start. So that's why you're getting a lot of dead market movement here, because a lot of people are just sitting out of the market until the new contracts are out. So here we go with news price. See if this ends up pushing price in a direction. If not, it might have a late reaction. So that's why you want to be a little careful about taking anything here. So we got this right here. Yeah, big spike up right there. So as you guys can see, this is why we don't trade news. Price pushed up right there. Rejected directly off the sessions. Yeah, so it's rejecting off, rejecting off the sessions right there. And I mean, we'll see if it comes back down. I think eventually price will come back down, but it is due for retracement. So that's why I'd be a little careful with taking any entries here. Yeah, I do think it's due for retracement. So I want to be a little careful with taking anything here because price has been dropping for about 2,000 pips over here. And it's about due for it to come back up at some point, at least to some extent. It doesn't need to come up a lot, but it does need to come up at least a little bit. So here we go. As price pushes up higher, it's retesting the sessions again right there. I'll keep all the time frames open so we can kind of keep an eye out for the rejection off the pivots here. So price is pushing up kind of heavy. What I can kind of see here is that price might push up, reject off the pivot over here on the 5-minute. And then if we get a double wick rejection off here and here, then it's probably going to come right back down. That's probably going to be the catalyst for the correction back to the downside. Double wick rejection right here off the sessions. Let's see if it's ready to swing back down just yet. Thanks, Peter. Peter said the news was negative. Let's refresh this real quick. Yeah, news was negative. CT's asking, what does a heat map look like? You know, what I realized here is that this heat map is kind of delayed. I mean, obviously it's all red. It's pretty much all red for the most part. We looked over here at the indices. The Dow's still down, I believe, about 83 points. Not down a lot, but it is down. Most of the stocks here are red for the most part on the heat map. I think the trading view heat map might be a little better because this is a little delayed unless you like pay for the data, which I don't think it's really necessary. But let me see if I could find the all right, so this is a V1 variation here. If this becomes the case, price might be coming back down a little heavier from this point. So if you're looking for a speculative entry, or actually I wouldn't take it because there's a wick rejection off the bottom pivot right here. So I'd be careful with that. But there is a V1. It's a double body right there. So price might be able to push down at least 100 pips. It's too late to enter if you guys haven't entered already. Yep, and it went down 100 pips. I was thinking about taking that trade too. So the thing that kind of so if you guys are familiar with the V1 variation or any of the variation entries, they're reversal patterns. Price is coming up here. We were expecting price to come back down. I saw the double body right here. So I was like, okay, price is going to drop at least 100 pips. However, I saw the bottom wick rejection right here off the pivots. So I was like, okay, maybe not a great time to enter yet. But it did come down perfect like we kind of anticipated. It's all good though. It happens. We have the wick rejection right here starting to set up on the 5. This is what I was looking for though. I was looking for that wick rejection right there. So that would come down further. But the double body right here played out perfect. It's not just any double body either, guys. So you guys got to make sure if you guys are looking for these reversal patterns, it has to come off the high low. So if you have the high low indicator, if you see a high here, it's a double body. That's a reversal pattern. But we use these reversal patterns as corrections, right? So like this is a reversal pattern, but we're already looking for a sell here. So with it, using our overall bias with a reversal pattern, we're actually looking for a correction. So we see the reversal pattern, we see the correction back down. That's exactly what we're looking for. And we see price coming down further and further. The 5-minute over here hasn't closed yet, but if this has a wick rejection off the pivot, and this right here also has a wick rejection off the pivot, then I'm expecting price to drop down at least, you know, a certain amount for it to cover like, you know, about 100 pips if you guys are looking for a speculative sell. Just an FYI, if you guys are looking for one, not that you guys have to take it, but you know, I'm just giving you guys a heads up if you guys are looking to take one, because that's another confirmation that price is likely, you know, to continue dropping from where it's currently at. And it doesn't need to drop a lot. It just needs, it could possibly drop, you know, at least 100 pips or so in that direction. So we do got the rejection here. I think price will drop at least a little bit. And we'll see where this ends up going. So Let's see what time is it right now. It's currently 6:50. We have news coming up over here at 7 o'clock. So we'll see where this ends up pushing as it goes around. Let's see, crypto said he took it for 250 instead of 100 and it hit. Nice work, crypto. Still no official entries yet, guys. So you guys want to be a little careful with any entries here if you guys are looking to take anything. I think if we get another wick rejection here off the pivot, it'll be like another confirmation of it dropping even further. But you know, price still needs to come down and finish the move here on the 10-minute. It needs to finish the breakout 2.0. So this trade hasn't finished yet. This is why I still have a confidence for, you know, possible sell here, because obviously price still needs to drop to its full potential, which is, let's see how far. Still needs to drop about close to 500 pips. So I took that speculative sell there that I was mentioning to you guys, locked it in for a quick 100 pips. You know, there's no official entry there, but I did mention, I know it was at the sessions, but it broke through it, and I thought it was going to push at least 100 pips. So if you guys are looking for speculative moves, I'm giving you guys hints here that these trades are going to happen. They're not official entries because there's no strategy to it. It's just looking for speculation here. So the reason why I knew this was going to come down was because I saw the wick rejection on these here. Overall bias here was a sell on the lower time frames. Overall bias here was a sell on the higher time frames. Plus we had an active trade running. Whenever you guys have an active trade running like this, odds of it pushing lower are more likely than not, right? So that's one thing that you guys got to keep in mind when you guys are taking these specific trades. So just a heads up, guys, you know, there's multiple confluences here. That I wasn't just taking this because there was a wick rejection off the pivots. That was one confluence. Second confluence is that one trade was still technically running over here active. And then the bias across the board pretty much on the higher time frames, 10-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, all bearish. 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10-minute all bearish as well. So that's how you guys can use your analysis to identify where price is likely to go. Not necessarily to a target, but where you think price will push at least, you know, 100 pips. Because if you look at the chart here, I'll maximize 1 minute. If you're going for quick scalps for 100 pips, it's not a very big move, right? It's a very small move actually. So if you know price is going to come down and you have a good idea that price is going to go down for like at least a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, that's enough time for you to hit 100 pips. So that's the main reason why I took that for a speculative sell. And I did give you guys hints. I said, okay, if price rejects off these pivots right here, it's probably going to come down. I said it's rejecting off it again. If this happens again, it's going to come down even further. And that's exactly what happened. Took it for 100 pips right there, blasted right through my TP. Probably could have held it for longer because it dropped. Oh yeah, it dropped. I could have held it for 200 pips, but it's all good. You know, we're scalping here. You want to be in and out of these positions quickly. You don't want to be caught in this position and price ends up swinging back up where it's currently at. Nice. Yeah, Brock over here actually took it as well. He took it for a high-low scalp. Nice. Solid work there. Maddie caught it as well. I'll take a screenshot of my profits real quick. Just give me 1 second, guys. We got news coming up shortly, so you want to be careful with any entries at this moment. 8 minutes till news. Maria took it as well. Nice work, Maria. Zach took it as well. So a lot of you guys here took the trades. Or that one trade that I just mentioned wasn't an official trade, but was a speculative sell that played out perfect. Still looking for and waiting for the heck? Something's wrong with my copier. Let me see if my copier took my trade. Like I took the trade. This proper account. That's weird. Here, let me try to log back in. I was going to screenshot my profits right now, but my copier isn't showing profits, but it shows profits here. Today's the 28th. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, I just got to take the individual profits in. Wait, heck? Am I going crazy? Okay, never mind. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I think my internet's off because it showed there's no trade. And I was looking at my account. I'm pretty sure I took the trade. It's like it shows on my MC4 on my computer. And then it didn't show on my phone, but now it's showing on my phone, but it still doesn't show on my copier. I don't get it. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna take a screenshot of my actual account. I thought I was going crazy for a second. I saw the trade on my MC4 on the computer, but it didn't show any trades on my phone, and then now it just loaded. Okay, thanks, Maddie. So Maddie said the copier is down. You can't log into his. Okay, let me see if my copiers actually took the trade. Whack. Yeah, the copier is down. Trash. So my copier didn't take the trades. It's just my main account. I mean, which is okay, but whack. That would have brought my accounts back into profit for the week. Because I was down like $1,000. So I just needed one trade to make it back. Yeah, that's weird. So the copier is down right now. It's usually that usually doesn't happen though. So let me check. Yeah, I definitely didn't take my trade. But the copier was okay with charging me though. I just got my receipt for having to pay for the copier, but it didn't copy my trade. So yeah, I guess the copier is down right now. If you guys are using social trader tools, I'm assuming it's just not working right now. I'm hoping it doesn't take any random trades though. Yeah, that's never happened to me. I don't know if it's ever happened to you guys before, but I've seen where the copier is kind of laggy, but today it's like completely down. I'm assuming I could log in, but it doesn't show any trades. Let me just post my screenshot for that one trade then. All right, so here's the profits from that trade that I took earlier. Right here is my main account. This is my FTMO 400K funded. Locked in the full TP here with the green strip, locked in 1,120. This is the only account that it covered it in though. So fortunately it didn't cover my MFFs. Yeah, it's all good. All right, well, on to the next one. I need one more trade anyways to cover my loss for this week. So hopefully the copier starts working by then. Yeah, Patricia said not taking random trades now because it sometimes takes random trades when it is down. Yeah, I think because it's lagging. So like sometimes it'll execute late, and the trade like I entered like a couple minutes ago, it might just execute at a later time. So I might have to hold off on entering some trades right now because I can't even turn off my copier if I wanted to, which is kind of scary because if it does that, it can literally blow all of my MFF accounts because they're all connected to my copier. So I'm going to hold off on a little bit. If I see something good here, I'll take it, but I got to make sure it's good. All right. Thanks, Maddie. Maddie said it's working now. Let me check. I'm going to refresh mine. I don't think mine's working yet, Maddie, because it doesn't show my profits from the last trade I took on the copier. Yeah. I don't think it's working yet. Like you might be able to log in, but it's not showing any updated data because my my FTMO account still says 0 for the day. Should say 1,000. All right, so some profits over here, guys. Let me just copy this over real quick. We have profits from Maria. Maria over here took the sell with us. Total profit of 129.81 for the day. Nice work, Maria. So solid work right there on Maria's end. Took that trade with us. We got Zach over here. He took that sell with me as well. Total profit of 7,495 for the day. And then yesterday, 4,753. Great work right there, Zach. Great consistency. Keep it up. We got Brock over here, first account, total profit of 555. Nice work right there, Brock. And then he took the sell with us earlier, total profit of 1,880. Great work, Brock. All right, guys, we got news right here in about a minute. We'll see if price ends up pushing around. Yeah, Eunice said no trades yet. It's all good. Just gotta wait for it to come. It'll come eventually. See, Nick said took a speculative sell off that last wick rejection to full TP in and out though, because this range is getting tight, bringing myself out of this hole. Yeah, no, definitely, Nick. Great work right there. Yeah, Maddie said that's weird. It works on his computer, but not his phone. Yeah, social trader tool is still not working. Did you take trades, Maddie? Because I think, well, I mean, you should be able to log in. I've been able to log in all day. It's just it doesn't show my profits from the trades that I took. And this weather sucks. I'm getting sick again. I've been sick for like the whole month of February, which is super annoying. So I hate being sick. All right, so the 1 minute over here is currently pushing back up. There's a news event right here that happened at 7 o'clock. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark up news real quick. This is the news candle right here. I'm gonna take off this. All right, so it looks like price is just in a big range. I mean, there's not really much going on here. As you guys can see, there's nothing going on here. Price just keeps going sideways from where it's currently at. So this realistically is just a big range. So lots of sideways movement right here, nothing special. I mean, you guys can see here on the clean chart, there's nothing going on here. So we got to wait and see where price goes. I was hoping these news events would create a catalyst to push price around, but realistically, there's nothing going on here. Price just keeps going sideways. I'm really glad that February is ending because February has been such a trash month of price not really doing much. Let's see. Sisuk said this doesn't happen often, but it's what happened to me 4 years ago, and I haven't used a copier since. Losing over 75K in a morning did that to me. You know, it's crazy, Sisuk. Yeah, I don't know what's going on mine, Maddie. It still doesn't work. Let me just go over here real quick. I'm going to reopen the website, Social Trader Tools. All right, so price over here is rejecting again off the 5-minute pivot, as Maddie mentioned. You got to wait for this candle to actually close, though. It has about 2 minutes left on it, so we'll see what happens here. The breakout 2.0 is still running right now, technically. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the copier, Maddie. Mine's still not working. It doesn't show my profits for that, even though I took that trade. And it shows up on my account. I mean, it's all good. I'll try the next trade. Maybe I'll just update from there. All right, so a couple things to look out for here. I mean, there's nothing really going on here on the one. Price really is just going sideways, as you guys can see over here. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Price is going sideways. Let's go ahead and mark up the range right here so that you guys can see a little better. So this is the range right here. Not too much going on. Price is pushing up right here. This 5-minute candle might be rejecting off the pivot. But you actually got to wait for it to close. This is something that we don't want. So we don't want a buy signal here to close, because if a buy signal here closes, then we can't really look for any entries over here as price continues to, obviously move along. It looks like there was actually a momentum scalp variation right here. So this candle right here was a momentum scalp failure, and it was also a momentum, not a momentum scalp failure, but it was a momentum scalp variation. You can see that it closed right here below the pivots, but it was right at the session. So I don't know if anyone identified this. I barely noticed it right now. This thing literally came up and went straight to TP. It was at the sessions though, so it wasn't a trade that I would take. And also it was at the news candle, so not one that I would take either. But this right here would technically be a momentum scalp variation. Yeah, and it's not a momentum scalp failure, Maddie. It's momentum scalp variation. It closed below the pivots right here. So price retraced up right here. You have the retracing momentum signal. This candle closed below the pivots. Volume doesn't really matter off this. It just matters for the momentum scalp failure, but it doesn't matter for the variation. Yeah, it like barely closed right there, but either way, we wouldn't have taken it because it was at the sessions. So, I mean, it wouldn't matter. It's not one we take. I just want to show you guys that came up right there. Let's see, Deswell is asking, are you taking the breakout 2.0 on the 10-minute? The breakout 2.0 is only taken on the 10-minute, Deswell. I'm not in it, but it's only taken on the 10-minute. We marked it up because Karen identified it earlier. So I'm not sure when you got into the session, probably got in a little later, but Karen identified it. And then I just marked it up for her here so you guys can follow. I'm not in the position though. I'm just using this as a confluence. So like if I'm looking for a sell here, I'm using this as a confluence to show me that, okay, price still has a ways to go until it hits its TP, but I'm not in this position. Okay. So we'll see where this ends up going right here. I think if this here rejects again off the pivot off the 1 minute, it'll probably come back down slightly, but does not look like it's going to happen here. It has about 30 seconds left on this candle here. Nice. Yeah, Deswell says he's on vacation in DR. Nice. Yeah, I might go to DR this year too. Deswell. I haven't been there in like a couple of years, but it's nice out there on Punta Cana. All right, so we got a rejection over here, guys. Price might come to, or never mind. Or there was a rejection here, but it happened super last minute or last second. It was up here, then it came down, and it was up here. So not necessarily one that we'd be able to really identify. The thing that we don't want price to do over here is we don't want price to provide this buy signal, because if this becomes a case here, then we have to wait for another sell signal to come up. So we just got to be patient with this here. As price continues to, obviously move along. There's no entries for us to take here though. So we already had a momentum scalp variation. The last entry that we might be able to have here would be a momentum scalp. So if you get a sell signal over here, we can possibly get a momentum scalp. However, you need to make sure that this here doesn't close with a buy signal. If this here closes with a green buy signal, then there's no momentum scalp because you need to sell momentum on pretty much all time frames here. So we are just going to be waiting for this to confirm. But I'm going to keep this one up right here too, so that we can see this this buy signal if it ends up coming up or not. So here's one thing that I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for a wick rejection over here on the 1 minute. Say if we get a red candle over here and price rejects off the pivot, I'm expecting price to come down at least 100 pips. So we got about 40 seconds on here, and that'd be for a speculative move. Obviously, if you guys are looking to take a speculative trade here, again, as I mentioned, 100 pips isn't very big of a move. So it's easy to get in and out of a move like that pretty quickly. Deswell's asking if I can send him. So, the breakout 2.0, if you can find it on the course page as well, but let me see if I can find it here. It's an easy strategy. You're just looking for overall direction of price. Yeah, it's probably the simplest one that you can find. I don't recommend taking it though. So, if you want to take it, you can take it as well, but I don't really recommend taking it because there's no direction in price. Like this trade should have hit already if you're taking the breakout 2.0. This thing's running a little too long. I think eventually it'll hit, but obviously it's been running for a little too long now. Here we go. As price pushes back around over here, there's no direction. Price is pretty much still within the range. So here's a clean chart. You guys can see here, it's pretty clear. I marked up the range over here and nothing's going on. Price just keeps going sideways. So there's not really much for us to take right here. This trade's still technically running right now. So just an FYI, guys, if you guys want to take the breakout 2.0, I'd probably be a bit careful. I'd probably take the breakout 1.0. I'd take this as a confluence. I wouldn't take it as a full entry because it's such a big move, 1,500 pips when the market's barely even moving. this is the last thing you want to get caught in. You'll be in profit and then price just ends up going sideways for a very long time, which, you know, obviously is super annoying. Let's see, there's no wick rejection here. It's close to it, but not exactly. All right, looks like price is coming down pretty slightly right now. There's no entry for us to take here though, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend chasing it. But I was hoping a wick rejection would come up here. I didn't necessarily, let me see, I can't really tell. Let me maximize this. Yeah, it did, Eunice. So this was a momentum scalp. If you guys remember earlier, I forgot to even look for that. It was at the sessions though, so it's not one that I would personally take, but this was a momentum scalp right here. This is the one that we were waiting for. It was a momentum scalp off the 1 minute. So pretty much all the trades here have lined up already. We had the first one, which is a momentum scalp failure that didn't play out right here because the volume was above average. We had a momentum scalp variation that happened right there as well. That already hit full TP. And then lastly, we had the momentum scalp that just came up right here. And that's pretty much, you know, done with at the moment. Yeah, Maddie said sell signal, the wick rejection would have been nice. Yeah, no, same here, Maddie. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for the wick rejection. If we had it off the wick here, I probably would have taken it for a quick 100 pips, like I was mentioning to you guys, for another speculative move. Another reason why I would have been okay with it was because this would have been a momentum scalp entry, which just played out. Unfortunately, it's not one that we would take because of the red flags. Price is just not in a good area right here. As you guys can see, there's just this whole area here is a huge red flag, right? Because price keeps going down and it just ranges here sideways. Price is now below, which is a good thing, but we got to see if price actually stays below here. Here's a range that I drew earlier. So even if we got that sell signal right there, it would have been a bit of a risky entry because it was still within the range. Price is now below it. So we'll see how this ends up reacting to where price is currently at, or if it ends up staying down below. Yeah, Patricia said market really sucks this month. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Patricia. I'm glad February is over. This is the last day of February, guys. So hopefully tomorrow price will start to move directional again, and it'll start to have some sort of smooth movement, because this whole month has been a choppy month. Not really much going on. And then on top of that, my copier here is being weird. Okay, my copier works now. I just updated. My FTMO shows a profit, Maddie. So copier's back up and running. I was hoping that other trade would have been there, but it's all good. Now I know it works. Eunice is asking, momentum scalp hit full TP? Yes, it did. So looking at this over here, Eunice, I didn't take the trade because obviously it was in the middle of the red flags, but if you guys did take the trade here for a momentum scalp. So here's another reminder, guys. I just want to remind you guys again that these red flags, they're not required, right? So like I have the red flags here. This is optional. You don't have to follow this. For me personally, I follow it because a lot of my losing trades happen at these red flags. So I don't take trades at any of these horizontal lines. As you guys can see, it becomes a really risky area here because price just starts to range, or it starts to consolidate whenever it gets near these horizontal lines, whether it be purple, pink, red, green, blue, etc. Whenever price gets near these areas, price does a lot of weird stuff where it just goes sideways for a while. So for me, to prevent myself from losing any unnecessary losses, I just avoid trades there completely. You guys don't have to do that. You guys can take trades if you like, but for me personally, I like being on the safe side, so I avoid red flags. All right, so there's still nothing for us to take here. Unfortunately, the market does suck right now. It's been sucking all month with no direction, lots of choppiness, and I mean, just nothing to look at really. All right, so I was looking for a rejection off these pivots here, but there's nothing coming up right here. We have this candle that's currently pending. Okay, so the breakout 2.0 just hit full TP. So that was a catalyst that we were looking for. So Karen, I'm not sure if you were in this position here, or I think you were just following it. If you guys took the breakout 2.0, this was a breakout 2.0 right here. Market open here at 630, price dropped, 1,500 pips straight to profit target. So if you guys tick it right there, I'll just give you guys an update in the group. This is not going to count towards the official trades because this is not an official trade that we take, but Karen identified it and it looks like some of you guys here did take it with us. I was hoping it'd still be moving around so I can continue using this as a catalyst, but I mean, it's all good. I didn't take it myself. I just took that small trade in between. So let's just give you guys a little update there. This is not going to be an official trade, guys, so just don't worry about it. It's just me giving you guys an update for the specific trade for you guys who did. Looks like some of you guys here did take it. I think Barack took it. So let me check real quick. Barack's profits. Yeah, so Barack over here is now up 2,565. Nice work, Barack. And then his other account over here, 3,095, or he just took more trades. So 3,095 right there. Solid work. And then here is his journaling. So nice work right there. Keep up the journaling. That'll help you stay on point with your analysis. So we got CSUK over here, total profit of 1,585 for the day. Sorry, 1,587. So solid work right there, CSUK. We have Kip over here. He took the momentum scalp that we just discussed. Total profit of 1,331 for the day. Nice work, Kip. And Maddie over here currently up about 2,000 for the day. 2,000 for the day, about 5,000 for the week. Nice work, Maddie. All right, solid work, guys. Seth over here as well, currently up 20,316. Damn, crazy moves right there for a sell. Yeah, it looks like he took the breakout 2.0. I can see your timestamp right here at 6:30. He took it and he held on to it for the entire move. Yeah, so Seth here actually took 2 entries right here off the breakout 2.0. Or, maybe he was taking a different entry, but he did take the entry here for a sell and he hit his full TP for, huge profit. So solid work right there, Seth. I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here are taking the trades and holding on to them. I know it's a little iffy when the market's kind of going sideways like this a lot, but seeing that you guys had taken these big moves and held on to him, great work. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So Seth over here, he was getting in and out of the trades. He said his broker treats hit lot size 10x bigger than they are. Gotcha. Okay. No, it makes sense. It's kind of similar to like Hanko, because I think Hanko's like that as well. All right. Nice. Karen took the breakout 2.0 for a quick 100 pips, locked in a small profit. Nice work, Karen. Frederick said, I'm on your case, Barack. Good job so far. Document even your worst mistakes. Yeah, no, definitely. Frederick's 100% right. So, document all your trades, Barack, whether it be good trades, bad trades, okay trades. It's better to document so that you can understand where you're going wrong with your trading, because you've been pretty consistent. I mean, it seems like you just blow your account on like one day sometimes where you over trade. So you can find the consistency and avoid the bad trades. I think you could be pretty solid. All right, so there's no entries right now, guys. Price is kind of bouncing around. We have news over here at 7:30, so we have about 12 minutes until news comes up. Looking over here at the clean chart, not really much going on here. Price broke out of the range. I'll leave the range there to see if price comes back and retests it, because that might be the case. So price will come up, retest, bounce off the structure, and then come on its way back down. Looking over here, there's still no official trades for us at the moment, guys. There's a possible momentum scalp failure that's coming up right here. I'll follow it, but as I mentioned, obviously I'm not going to take this trade here because I typically don't take the momentum scalp failure. I'll look for the continuation that happens after it. All right, so we get a buy signal over here. If the buy signal closes and volume is below average, this will technically be a momentum scalp failure. Not one that I would personally take myself, because price is pretty much flat and it's not really doing anything right here. But nonetheless, it is a momentum scalp failure. So we got about 20 seconds left on this candle here. I'm not in this position. I'm not planning on taking it. If you guys do plan on taking it, just keep in mind that I do find this a little risky because price is pretty much going sideways right here. And it may need to retrace up and test the news price right there. And also looking at the current range right here, you might want to use the 25.50 because it looks like it might be pushing around a bit before it actually gets to that point. Actually, there's small candles right here. She might want to go for 100 pips on this if you're looking for the momentum scalp failure. I'm looking for the next entry. So I'm not necessarily looking for the momentum scalp failure right here. I'm looking for a momentum scalp variation that would happen right after it. So if this here closes below the pivots, then this would be a momentum scalp failure. I mean, sorry, a momentum scalp variation. The momentum scalp failure here just hit full TP. So if you guys took that, great. I'm looking for this candle here to close below the pivots. If it does, I'll take it for momentum scalp variation, and then we'll see where this ends up going from there. Got to wait for it to actually close though, because the way that the markets are moving, it's not necessarily moving super smooth. So we got about 10 seconds left on this candle here. As you guys can see, the candle did not close below the pivots. You got to wait for it to actually close. About a few seconds here. It was really close to it. I'm gonna see if I get in for late entry right here. See if I get in over here. I was waiting for it to close, and then it ended up closing like at the last second below the pivot. So I'm not in this position right here, guys. I was trying to get in, but this here was just kind of bouncing around. It wasn't looking like a good entry for me to hop into. So I'm not in this position here. I was gonna get in for a late entry, but now at the moment, since I'm doing that rule where I need to get in and out of the trade within the first 3 candles, I think it's a little too late for me to enter this trade here because it's in such a massive drawdown at the moment. Let me check the range here as well. So I'm not in this position here, guys. I was waiting for this here to close, and then it ended up like bouncing back and forth at the last couple of seconds, and I just didn't feel comfortable taking the position there. I only want to take it if it's like a for sure entry. There's a possibility for a late entry here, but due to my my new thing that I'm doing where I'm kind of pulling out of the trade a little early, or not early, but I'm not holding it for more than 3 candles. I'm probably gonna have to sit out of this one. If we get a momentum scalp though, like a late entry, then I'll enter for that one there. So I'll see where price ends up going over here. I mean, technically the trade's still technically running if you were in it. I'm not in the position. I'm just waiting for this here to provide another possible entry for a momentum scalp. So I'm basically looking for a sell signal here to come up. If I get a sell signal, great. If not, I'm just going to have to sit tight and wait. Price is pushing up right here. Let's see if it rejects off the pivot right here and comes back down. So what we might get here is price might retrace up a little bit more until it comes up and rejects off the pivot here. I think price will come back down eventually, but I think it's going to take some time until it actually comes down. I'd probably wait for this to come down and or wait for it to actually reject off the pivot, because that'll probably be a better catalyst for it to come down further. Yeah, Dejan said MT5 saved him from entering because he hit sell and then it pulled him to the page to agree to the terms. So basically his quick trade wasn't set up yet. All right, so here's another confluence here, guys, where I think price might be coming down. If this here closes like this, it'll be a double body, which I hope it does, because I want this thing to come back down. It's just a matter of time until it actually does. But yeah, if you get a red candle right there, it'll be considered a double body. So it'll be like a V1. It's a reversal pattern. Price might be coming down from that point. The 5-minute here still hasn't came up and tested the pivot yet, but if price continues dropping, this pivot will follow. So we'll see if this here, it's a double body rejection. Let's see if it comes back down from where it's currently at. I think the 5 here is trying to get up to the pivot though. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a sell signal. If we get that sell signal, it'll be a momentum scalp entry. And then from there, I'll be looking to catch it on its way down. Yeah, and it's also touching news price too. So this is just not a good area to be in. So like, thanks Glenn for the little heads up there. This is a V1 variation, but it is at a red flag, which is the news price. So I mean, either way, it's not a good area to take a trade to begin with. I was hoping this here would cause the reversal back down. I think price will come back down, but I think right here on the 5, this is basically where it needs to come and touch. There you go. So now the 5-minute is touching the pivot right there. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a red candle. If this here closes with a red candle, I think this will make its way back down. So I need this here to close with the red candle. There we go. So we have a double rejection there off this one and off this one here. So I'm expecting price to probably make its way back down. The only problem is that it's at news price. That's like the biggest red flag right there, that it is currently at the news price. So you know, whenever you get whenever the candles are near news price, you get a lot of manipulation here. Like I think price will come down, but I think due to where it's currently at, it's going to keep bouncing around, and you guys can see here, it's just going sideways, right? It's having trouble getting past the news candle right here, or news price down this area. I mean, I do expect it to come down. I just don't know how long it'll take for it to make its way back to the downside. I want this candle here to close a little lower though. So I want this to close as a red candle, because the problem with it now is that it's now rejecting off the bottom wick. I mean, it's just a lot of like, it's just not in a good area right now where it's currently at. So it's rejecting off the bottom wick here now. Price is kind of pushing around where it's currently at. I mean, I hope it comes back down, but I don't know if it will actually at this point. Sell signal never came up, couldn't get in for a momentum scalp. Man, this market is trash. Yeah, there's not really much going on here for these entries. I was hoping that I'd get an entry there, but it didn't end up coming down. The wick rejected off this point here, but we didn't have the confirmation on the other time frames. It's still in a bad area though. So like this area where it's currently at, a lot of red flags. See where it's currently at. Oh, damn it. I just saw your message right now. See some more profits over here, I think from Sisu. Let me check real quick. All right, we got news coming up over here in about 3 minutes, guys. So I think price might be pushing up a little bit, and then it'll be making its way back down for news. Okay, so there's not too much going on here. I mean, I'm looking over here at the 5. So the 5 is going to end at news price, right? News candle. If we get another wick rejection right here, and we get another one off here on the 1, then I'm expecting it to actually make its way down. I was waiting for that sell signal so I can take the momentum scalp down, but it just never came. We have news coming up here shortly, so it might not be a good time to enter any trades, especially not right now with, you know, with all this movement that's currently going on. Just trying to set up my trade properly so I could have enough space here. All right, we got news coming up shortly. In about 2 minutes. I mean, I do expect price to come back down. I just don't know when it's going to actually come back down. I think this right here is just temporary push to the upside, and then price will come back down. I think because the news coming up right here. Let me check the news calendar real quick. So news at 7:40, or sorry, 7:30 is, where's the news at? My FX book. Dallas Fed Services Revenue Index and Dallas Fed Services Index. So there goes the sell signal right there. Not sure if anyone caught it. I just missed it. I wasn't even looking at it, but it was at the news price, so I couldn't take that there. Damn, that thing would have went straight down too. Yeah. So this is exactly what I was looking for, guys. Unfortunately, it happened right at the news candle, so I wasn't able to catch it. Sisu caught it. Nice work, Sisu. So Sisu said hit, he caught it. This is what we were looking for. So if you guys saw earlier, we looked for the momentum scalp failure. I didn't enter that because I don't typically enter that in that specific trade. And then there was a momentum scalp variation here, but the candle here didn't close below correctly. It was kind of bounced here at the last second. And then the momentum scalp here is the one that I was waiting for. But then again, right here, it was, I mean, obviously it was stuck at this area where I didn't want to enter the trade, and it went straight to TP. So F me then. It was the entry I was waiting for, but it just wasn't in the area that I could have made entry. Yeah, it would have been perfect too. 250 pips right there. If you went for a 25-50 split. I mean, either way, if you went for 25-50 or you went for 100 pips, I probably would have went for the 100 pips because the news candle was right here. But either way, if you did the 100 pips or 250 pips, it still would have hit your TP. There's a news candle right there. Here we go. This price continues back down. So, I mean, if you guys were still in the variation here, you know, this was just pre-market BS where it just kind of manipulated up and it came all the way back down. So, man, this market is whack. I was hoping this market would have been better today, but it's all good. Tomorrow's March 1st, so hopefully market starts to move a lot smoother. Here's the clean chart. As you guys can see, it did exactly what I mentioned. So you see the markup right here. I marked this up like 10, 20 minutes ago, and it did exactly what I marked up here. Came up, retested the structure, and then came right back down. So yeah, you guys saw that there on the clean chart. Played out perfectly. Or I'm looking for whatever other type of entry that we can possibly have here, but there's just nothing for us to take at the moment. Let's see. There is a So I was looking at this here to see if there was a break rejection off the pivot. There wasn't, but if there is or was, then I would expect price to come down a little further from where it's currently at. I mean, I think price will come back down further. It needs to correct back down to this area because it pushed up for no reason right here. So, I mean, unfortunately, if you guys took the momentum scalp variation, you guys got caught in this manipulation, like this fake out and move right here, and then it ended up coming back down to where it's supposed to be. So if you look at this here, so if I enter this for a late entry, I was kind of tempted to do it right now because I was getting a little FOMO. Good thing I didn't. But so see this entry right here. If you took this here, obviously would have gone stopped out. But if you waited for a late entry here, like what I was kind of waiting for earlier, it would have came down and filled the order. And then, I mean, it didn't hit CP yet, but it looks like it probably could have been or close to it. But I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm not going to do any more of those FOMO moves, guys. I know in the past I used to do that a lot, right? Enter the trade late. But now I'm not going to do that because now I'm more on the safer side. I want to be in and out of these positions within the first couple of minutes. You guys got to remember that these are scalps and these are not considered day trades. Like you want to be out of these within the first couple of candles. If your TP doesn't hit within the first couple of candles, then you know you got to pull out early. So like, for example, if I was in this position right here, I would have pulled out for a loss right here because it wouldn't have hit within the first 3 minutes, right? So price would have pushed up. I've been like, okay, this is a horrible position. Would have been 3 minutes in. I would have pulled out for a partial loss rather than a full loss. Let's see, price is rejecting off the pivot again over here. So we'll see if this ends up pushing down lower, but again, it's right at the news price, which is not a good area to trade in. See, Kevin said this push up is most likely profit taking from sellers. Yeah, and I can see that too, Kevin. A lot of people pulling out of the position right before the news event, of course. In my opinion, that's kind of what I saw happening there. Because I would have done the same thing. You know, if news is happening over here at 7:30, I would have been like, okay, I need to get out of this position because price might spike off that news. There's a possible entry over here, guys, for a momentum scalp failure. The only problem with this here is that it's right at the news price again. So it's not in a good area to trade in, guys, where it's currently at, because there's a lot of news right here. You get a lot of manipulation here. Price pretty much goes sideways for a bit, and you just don't know where price is going to go from there. If it was out in the open, then great, but it's not out in the open right now. So not necessarily the best trade to look at right now per se. Looking over here on the higher time frames, let me see. The 10-minute over here is everything here is still bearish. So I still think price is going to come down. I just, I don't know how long it's going to take for this to actually make its way down. Let's see. Yeah, if we get a buy signal here, it's technically going to be a momentum scalp failure, but again, it's not one that I would personally take because it's at these news prices. I need price to get away from here. So everything here is still pretty much bearish. The only problem here that we're really stuck with is that price is in between all of these red flags. So in order for us to have any actual entries here, here's the problem, or here's the solution. I need price to be like pretty far below. So in order for me to have any entries, I need price to actually have some sort of catalyst pushing price down below and then staying down here. So it just continues dropping, right? So the pattern that we're looking for here is we're looking for price to come back below, retest, and continue dropping further. We just don't have that here because price keeps getting stuck in this area here, which is not a good area to trade in. I mean, it looks like price just created a bigger range. So we had this older range over here, and then now it's creating another range right here as well. So I'm going to go and just clean this up a little bit. So now that we're done with that range, we have another range right here. So it's just back. It's doing exactly what it was doing earlier. It's just in a lower range now. So price was ranging up here. It dropped down. And what happens here again? Another range. Like literally nothing's going on here. Range, drop, range, and I mean, nothing really. All right, so again, it's another waiting game as we wait for this to play. If you guys have any questions, if there's any confusion, if you guys need me to clarify anything, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. The market for this entire month of February has not been good at all. It's just been a lot of this back and forth movement, choppiness, no direction here. All of our trades are based off momentum. So there's no momentum here. Price just pretty much goes sideways the entire session. And then sometimes at the end of the session, price will have some sort of direction, but at that point, it's already too late to take any entries. So if there's any questions that you guys have, if you guys are concerned about the month of February, don't worry, the month of February is finally over. So hopefully we're going to have some better direction in March. Last February was great. So that's why I wasn't really expecting this to happen, because last February we made a lot of profit in the market, especially, early in the year. Typically early in the year, we make most of our profits. And then from there, we start to taper off as we get closer to summer. But I mean, it is what it is, how the market's moving right now. So the thing with the market, guys, and with trading is that you guys will never perfect it, right? The thing is, the market will always change, and it's your ability. It depends on your ability to adapt to the market conditions. So like if the market continues to move sideways like this, then I'm going to toss in another strategy in here. We currently have these three, which are perfect for us to apply. But once if this continues to happen and price goes sideways, I'm going to toss in the momentum scalp or the SR rejection scalp, because that strategy right there works very well, especially for what we're looking for. It's very similar to what we're applying, except it's perfect for these ranging type markets. So if the market continues to move like this in the the future, then I'm just gonna have to toss this in here. We'll have like another strategy that we'll be looking for. This one. Let me see if there's any entries today, actually. I just don't like teaching this to beginners because it's a bit difficult, especially if you're not able to identify what's a strong candle, what's a moderate candle, etc. But let me see. I think there's a couple entries here that might have came up. Actually, there's no entries here yet. Or there might have been one right here. Let me see. Okay, so no. So I was looking at this hammer right here. I was thinking if this would be an entry, but I don't think it would be, because it's just the way it looks, right? The wick on the bottom is basically the same size as the body. This candle right here might have been an entry. If you guys are familiar with the SR rejection scalp, I think this one right here might have been an entry because it's rejecting off the structure. Momentum signal right here is a sell, and then you also have the moderate candle here. I don't know if it's a very strong moderate because the wick on the bottom is still a little big, but if you would have taken that for 100 pips, looks like it would have hit your TP. Yeah, it might have been at least one entry right there. other than that, there's another entry over here actually that hit TP2. So there's one more right here. So there's actually two entries here that hit full TP. We had this one right here, this big red candle, strong red candle, came down pretty heavy, but it went for a quick 100 pips straight to profit target on open. Yeah. So yeah, if the market continues to move sideways like this is typically a summer strategy that we like to apply. It's basically whenever market's going sideways. I'll just toss this strategy into the mix. It's not very, it is beginner friendly if you guys can follow directions, but majority of people don't follow directions very well. So that's why it's not one that I included in the mentorship. So I'll just keep that zone right there so that I know if I see a nice red candle reject off it. There's actually another one right here. But it's at the news candle right there. Let me see if I can mark it up real quick. Did it hit TP already? Yeah, no, it was at the news candle, so it's still red flag over here. The red flags still apply for all the strategy. It doesn't matter if you're applying momentum scalp or if you're applying one of these SR rejection entries. It's still at this news candle right here, or a news price. So there's a pink box, a pink line over here, and then a pink line over here. It's not a good area to trade in. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Glenn said Wick City. Yeah, there's huge wicks on both sides. Not a good area to trade in. Yeah, I just don't really see too much going on here as price continues to, obviously bounce around. Let's see. Martha said she took the variation but got stopped out due to having wrong risk set up. I had it set to 1030 when she should use a 2550. Lesson learned. Yeah, no, it's all good, Martha. It happens. The good thing is that you're still practicing on a demo, so you're not really making mistakes, on a real account, which could be an issue. But no, you're doing pretty fine so far. But again, guys, the issue here is that price is right in between all of these red flags. So we might get some entries here. So again, there is a momentum scalp failure right here. But we can't take the trade because, or actually, never mind, it's not up. The volume here is above average. We have another possible entry here for a momentum scalp variation. But again, if price closes below the pivots here, it's going to have to cut through this news price, which is going to be one of our issues. Because we typically try to avoid trades around those points. And the time's flying. It's 7:42 right now, so it's about 18 minutes till 8. Still no official entries. So again, right here, there's a momentum scalp variation, guys, that came up, but it was like one of those entries that didn't really come up too clean because it like closed at the last second. It was like way up here, and then at the last second, it closed below. And then we have a possible momentum scalp right here, but again, it's right at news price. So you guys can see here, this is a pretty clear example why we don't trade around news price, because you get caught in this like unusual price movement. Price will come down, it'll spike off the news price, and it'll come back up, then it'll come back down. And it's just not a good area to trade because you have no certainty as to like where price is going to go. For me personally, I think price will continue dropping because overall bias here is bearish. Also with this momentum scalp right here, I think this will probably play out because we have a wick rejection here on the 5. We have a wick rejection over here on the 1, and we also have the sell signal here. The only problem is that it's really hard to get this like candle here to close and actually stay. As you guys can see, it's not really moving as smooth as we would like it to, really, as price continues to bounce around where it's currently at. I was looking over here on my MC4 to see if there's any possible entry, but I'm going to be on the safer side, guys. I don't want to be taking any stupid trades here because I don't want you guys to like take any unnecessary risk. But you guys can see there's a lot of entries here that are coming up. There's a momentum scalp failure that came up right here. It was in between all of these news candles, so it's not a good entry to take. But if you would have taken this here for a momentum scalp failure, obviously your TP would have hit full TP right there for 250 pips. And then there was a momentum scalp variation here that came up at the very last second. Like price was up here, and then at the last 3 seconds, price spiked down and closed below there. So that'd be a momentum scalp variation, which also would have hit full TP right there. And then lastly, we had our momentum scalp right here, but again, it's at news price. So this would be the momentum scalp. I think you'd probably use a smaller TP stop loss here because the range here isn't as tight. I mean, it depends on like which you prefer, right? If you're using a 10-30 split, I think this might be a little too tight because if it retraces up like it's currently retracing right now, yes, it would hit your TP right away. But if you didn't hit your TP, then if it retraces up to where it's currently going, you might hit your stop loss before it comes back down. So maybe using a 25.50 right here, you'd be able to survive the move and continue holding on to it. But not a trade we take because it's right at the news price. So again, guys, I just want to remind you guys of the red flags. Here are the red flags here. When to avoid trades when price is near sessions, which is going to be this green, purple, and red line. When price is near opening price, which is going to be this blue line up here. I mean, price is so far from, I don't even know where opening price is anymore. Oh, right here, the blue line, sorry. This blue line up here, don't take any trades there. And then news price, pretty much all these pink lines. So yeah, exactly. Van Hartwig said red flag. Yeah, there's just too many red flags here. You guys are welcome to take these trades, but from my experience, this is typically where I lose trades when I end up getting caught in these red flags. So I have one trade from today. That's pretty much it where I made profit. Unfortunately, my copier didn't copy the trade, so it's just on one account, but I pretty much covered my losses off my FTMO and then some of my MFF as well. I'm hoping I could probably make it back up, but at this moment right now specifically, not really a good area for me to really find, entries for me to take. Man, this would have been another good entry. So you guys can see right here, the wick rejection. Wick rejection right there. Basically continuation of this move. So this is the trade that we were looking at earlier, the momentum scalp. It's coming back down to hit its TP. So I think it'll drop down at least 100 pips to maybe at least come down and hit its TP. I mean, it might happen right now, might happen later, who knows? But I could see it eventually making its way back down. Nice. So Maddie said he made his loss back from his variation. Solid work, Maddie. Yeah, so I'm expecting it to continue dropping, of course. Not bad. All right, so I took a little speculative move, guys. Sorry, that's kind of why I got quiet for a little bit. I was trying to catch this as it finished the move. So I was like, man, this is going to drop to hit its TP. So I got a little quiet right there because I was trying to take a speculative move because I wanted to cover my profits. But unfortunately, I got caught in slippage. I only locked in $200 on my MFF, which is crazy. I think this thing spiked down too quickly. I probably got a bad entry point and then it just closed me out right away. So, all right, that's my last FOMO move for the day. No official trades for me here, but I saw price coming down off this red candle. I was like, okay, this has to drop down and finish the rest of the move there. So here are my profits for the day. Nothing crazy, but I mean, I got a little something here. So let's see what we got over here. All right, so it's not too much. I mean, I locked in. So here's my earlier trade. Earlier, I locked in 1,200. You guys can see here that I just got caught in a lot of slippage. So that same account, I locked in 1,430. My FTMO or my MFF over here locked in 220, 230, 200, just $200. Looks like I got caught in some pretty bad slippage right here. for entry, or I just got in at a bad entry. I think I probably hit sell, and then as soon as I hit sell, probably should spike down super heavy, went straight to my TP, and only gave me like, partial profits, which is fine. I'd rather take partial profits than a loss. So I took a profit right there. And as you guys can see, I just locked in like a slight profit, nothing too crazy. It's getting close to 8-2, so I don't really see anything else. Playing out here. Some profits over here from Seth. Seth's currently up 26,334 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Seth. Yeah, solid pushes right there. Seth's only going for like 100 pips per move, so it's pretty solid for his entries right there. Getting in and out rather quickly. We have Sisu over here, total profit of 4,737 for the day. Nice work, Sisu. And then Maddie over here, up about close to 2,000 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. So good recovery on your account right there. Here's Vincent's first profits. He locked in 75.15. Nice work right there, Vincent. And then he also took another trade over here, total profit of 147, all full TPs. So great work right there, Vincent. So the first trade that Vincent took over here was this push to the upside. And then he caught this right back down right here with this momentum scalp. Yeah, no, it looks solid. Let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. All right, perfect. Some profits over here from Martha. Nice work right there too, Martha. Martha locked in a profit off that sell, locked in 1,470. So great work, guys. Again, guys, unfortunately, there's no entries for us to take right now. It's just been the month of February. It's been like this all month, which is super unfortunate because I was hoping to catch at least something here, but it is what it is. Looks like these moments or these SR rejection scalps are hitting pretty nicely though. So maybe it's something that we should add to the list, and I actually took something there. So sorry guys. I saw this markup right here for an SR rejection scalp. I saw this right here as I was drawing the zones, and I saw this was a strong red candle and I saw the rejection. So I took it for a quick 100 pips. All right, I'm really done with my FOMO trades for the day. Profits are sitting nice though, so that's a good thing. That thing finally gave me my full TP. I was just really pushing for it to for that one nice trade, and my full TP finally hit right here. All right, so I think maybe we might have to start implementing the strategy, guys, if the market doesn't start moving directional, because these entries are hitting perfect. You guys are familiar with the SR rejection scalp. These trades are hitting like left and right. Whenever I see these come up, they hit right away. So I saw this entry right here. So if you guys are wondering what entry I took this SR rejection scalp. So looking for a sell here, confirm trading in the direction of the trend. We already knew we're selling. We're looking for a sell. Identify top of rejection off the SR zone with a moderate red candle. So with that said, I had this right here. This is the entry that I took off this specific red candle right here. We're looking for a sell here. Obviously, all the time frames are bearish. We had this wick rejection off this structure right here. It was a moderate red candle. I confirmed I was trading in the direction of momentum. We had a sell signal right here. Took that for a quick short. Went straight to my full TP right there. So played out perfect with like literally no drawdown. So we'll continue looking at this, guys. If anything, I'll mark them up and we can start identifying them as possible entries, but I don't know if the market's going to keep going sideways like this. If the market keeps going sideways, then this will probably be one of the main strategies. This is one of our summer strategies because it's meant for a sideways market. Now that the market's moving pretty sideways, might be a good strategy to implement into our criteria. Or who knows, maybe March 1st tomorrow, price will start moving directional super heavily. But there is nothing to look at right now. So let me go over here real quick. I'm going to post up my new profit. So there's no official trades today, guys. Unfortunately, there were official trades that came up, but it was all at red flags. So we had a momentum scalp failure right here. This was a full TP. This was a momentum scalp variation. That was a full TP. This was a momentum scalp, another full TP. So 3 back-to-back full TPs right here, but it was all in the middle of all these red flags. Then I took this trade over here for a momentum scalp, or sorry, for a SR rejection scalp, sideways movement strategy. And it hit full TP right there. So that's how I locked in my profit. So here's my MFF account. I locked in 1,270. Here's my MFF number 2, locked in 1,300. Here's my MFF number 3. I locked in 1,290, and then my FTMO locked in 2,810. So pretty solid profits all around. It's getting close to 8 o'clock, guys. So I'm pretty much done trading for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat now. Otherwise, we will see if there's anything that we could possibly take, but I don't think there's going to be anything for us to take within the next few minutes or so. It's getting really close to 8 o'clock. There's another wick rejection right here, but it's not a very strong one. Like, you can't really see it clearly off the structure. So I don't know if I'll be taking this here for an SR rejection scalp, but yeah, I mean, this market sucks. Hopefully by tomorrow, it'll be moving about a lot smoother. Let me check the news for tomorrow. I'm looking for a catalyst in the morning to push price somewhere. So tomorrow we have some unemployment claims at 5:30, revised non-farm productivity, revised unit labor costs, and then we have, that's pretty much it. So we have unemployment claims tomorrow morning, or sorry, it's not tomorrow morning, it's on Thursday. Tomorrow morning we have Fed member Kashkari speaking, and then we have final manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing PMI. So we have some high impact news tomorrow. This will probably push price around, which is a good thing for us because we want price to be pushed around. We don't want it to be stuck in the middle pretty much all day. So if there's any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we might just have to start implementing the SR ejection scalp. I typically hold that strategy for the summer, but the market's moving just like it does in the summer right now. So if the market doesn't start moving tomorrow, then we might just have to start implementing it. Yeah, Kevin said he's been taking speculative sells every time it rejects off the moving average pivots because price is stair steeping down and it's in a bearish downtrend. It's risky, but I'm confident in my entries because I trade like this every day. Plus Sean's analysis that price is going to come down lines up. So yeah, I agree with you too, Kevin, 100%. That's why I've been looking to take these entries here when I do see them come up because I do expect price to continue dropping. Another good thing too, I mean, a lot of you guys are familiar with the snipe strategy. If you get a wick rejection off the pivot and you get a wick rejection off the structure, then odds of it dropping even further are very likely. It's basically a no-brainer at that point. Another thing from Kevin. Kevin said, I also think it's going to take all the liquidity down below in the higher time frames, which I agree as well, Kevin. So Kevin over here is basically talking about, the liquidity that needs to get hit here on the 30 and the 1. Which I do expect it to come down and hit as well. I agree with you on that. Yeah, it's still got a ways to go right here as it comes down lower. Let's see. Glenn said FOMO got the best of him today, down 2.6%. That's not too bad. So at least it's not worse. It could be worse, right, Glenn? I think if you go over 3%, that's when you start to push it a bit because you get closer to your 5% mark, right? But 2% is not too bad. You just need about 1 or 2 trades, and then you're back in a profit. So it's all good, Glenn. I think at this point, if FOMO is getting the best of you, it's probably best to just get off the charts, come back tomorrow fresh. I mean, hopefully the market will be moving a lot smoother tomorrow. That's my guess, that it'll probably be moving smoother. It's the first of the month, so I'm expecting a lot of volatility as new contracts reopen in the options market and in the futures market as well. We're finally going to get YM on the March contract, so we're not going to have this weird thing where you have to reset it every morning. It'll be back to normal. So let's see if there's anything else here. Yeah, so Dejan over here said he got stopped. He's got to stop doing that. He's up 405 overall in this challenge. Yeah, it seems like this is your problem like every day, huh, Dejan? If you guys have seen Dejan's profits, he and we talked about this in the mentoring session, he typically has like one loss in the beginning. He likes, I mean, for him, it's like, getting warmed up. And then he ends up making it right back. But if he had no loss in the beginning, he would have been in profit. But I mean, it's all good, Dejan, it happens. let's see. CSUK over here. Nothing right there. We got Maddie over here. Maddie's currently up. Yeah, Maddie's up well over 1,000 for the day so far. So nice work right there, Maddie. Steven over here as well. He said a tough day, but always trust the process. Total profit of 1,137. So I know it happens, Steven. I mean, Patrick, it happens every once in a while where you end up getting caught in these trades here. So it looks like you took these trades last night, huh? So these are all from Asia session. Took 2 losses during Asia session. He came back right here in the morning, made it right back. Total profit of 1,137. So it's all good. It happens, but the good thing here that you made the recovery. So I think that's it for right now, guys. So if there's any other questions, feel free to message me back. You guys can email me at Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com. Otherwise, the fastest way to get in touch with me is through Telegram. So you guys can also message me at KodiKaiTrades. If there's anything else that you guys want to cover, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. If you guys do decide to keep trading, I would probably be careful because price looks like it's due for retracement right now. So it is retracing up slightly. Not a crazy amount, but it is retracing up. And the last thing you want to do is look for a sell here, and then price ends up getting you caught up in this retracement. Higher time frames over here as well. You can see prices rejecting off this bottom. It's like a double bottom over here that happened on the 30-minute. Also a double bottom that happened over here on the 1 hour. So price might retrace up a little bit before it comes back down, but I think eventually it'll make its way back down. Otherwise, probably not a best time to trade because we are going to the new month tomorrow, and you probably want to have all your contracts cleared and positions cleared as we enter that time. So, all right, guys, other than